Greetings everybody, welcome to another video where I'll show you some of my latest Beatle finds, including maybe a couple of items that I forgot to show in recent videos, alright? I want to start with a gift that I received, and I had this when I made my last video, but I forgot about it, and now I remembered it. It's a gift that was sent to me, to my record store actually, from Brian, and this is Brian from, as it says, Bonnie, Scotland. And he says, "Hey Joe, greetings from Bonnie, Scotland. It glows in the dark." So what he sent me was, all right, in a little baggie here. Let's get it. Okay, it's a glove. When I say a glove, I'm speaking about a yellow submarine glove. And I think he wanted me to show it glowing in the dark here. But unfortunately, I'm making this in the daytime and can't do that. Maybe another time, if I happen to be here at night, I'll put it up against a light bulb. I'll put this on the side, Brian, if you're watching. And that will remind me one time when I'm doing maybe a night show here or something, that maybe I could show it. Thank you, Brian. I much appreciate it. All right. Next up, I have a white wax vinyl single. And this is one of those for jukeboxes only singles, Paul McCartney. And I'm pretty sure I have this. There's a few of these. I'm pretty sure I have this one anyway. But you know, it was so darn cheap that I figured, well, I could always use another one anyway. And it's really nice, and it is on Capitol, and it's the song "Come On People" from 1993. I love that song. Some people don't. I call it a Hey Jude for the 90s. I really love it. And I played this, and I actually very much like the sound of it on this 45, which I think is a little different, maybe a different mix or something. It sounded good. The other side, one of those wonderful tracks, and there are quite a few that were not featured on the Off the Ground proper album, bonus tracks, "Down to the River." What a great choice to have an extra bonus track as the B-side. So that's a nice one. All right, next up we have a rather interesting item, I think. I saw this in one of my stores that I go to, not my regular store, but another one. And when I saw this, I got excited for a moment. It's the early Beatles, but you'll notice already the sticker here. It says, "Includes Twist and Shout." And for a split second, I thought, wait a minute. Did they do that when this came out? I think this came out in '65, this particular album. Did they do that then? I said they wouldn't have, they couldn't have. And then I thought, it's probably a later press, which it is. You know, it's a I guess early 80s press. It's not the original Capitol label from the 60s, it's later. But I think this was used, this sticker, because I think the song was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Was it in there? Well, I know it was in Rodney Dangerfield's film. You know, too. I think "Twist and Shout" became something of a popular song for a while, if I'm not mistaken again. So I really don't know the deal with that. But I've never seen that sticker, and I really like it. So there it is. "Twist and Shout." All right. Okay, next up, we have an album by the Schoolboys. "I Want to Hold Your Hand," Beatle Mania. You know, I love these Beatle knockoff albums that came out in the 60s. I imagine that a lot of parents were fooled, you know. The Beatles were crazy. Beatlemania was running rampant. And I think what happened was they put these knockoff imitation albums out there, and parents didn't know. Maybe they'd buy something for their kids. Maybe not just parents, but teenagers, kids themselves, you know. And they would put it out and thinking they were getting real Beatles stuff there. You have "I Want to Hold Your Hand," "Twist and Shout" on here. And that seems to be the only thing Beatle related on here. The rest is other stuff. But yeah, I collect these kind of imitation albums, and it's always a lot of fun. Got quite a collection just on those alone. All right, this one I know is not my first copy of this at all. I've got this album like this. This is in the shrink wrap. It's Wings Greatest from 1978. It's got the 2 hype stickers on here, the song titles, and it says contains 4 recordings never before on an album. Another Day, Junior's Farm, Hi Hi Hi, and Mull of Kintyre. And you know, when the price is right, even if I've got it already, why not? I mean, it's not expensive. I got it lucky, you know, cheap. And 2 Guys. Anybody remember the store 2 Guys? Oh yeah, 2 Guys is where this is from. All right, this is a reissue, but it's in the shrink and in beautiful shape. So I picked it up. You can see right there, it says a capital value. In the shrink wrap, it's a reissue of Ringo Starr's Blast from Your Past. Really good album. One of my very first albums. Whenever I talk about what was my first solo album that I ever got, and there you can see an ad for the original copy of Blast from Your Past back there. What was the original album, the first album that I ever got from the solo careers? I bought this one and Shaved Fish with John Lennon about the same time. Well, and of course, when I got it, it was on Apple. So I think those were the first I had. But this is on the green Capitol label. And the main difference with the cover is you could see the letters Blast from Your Past, kind of a purple color. Originally, they were an orange font. So that was the color originally. Now, I have one item left to show you that so far is unopened. I don't think I'll open it until and if I decide maybe to do a video just on the next album. This is something that came out, I don't know the exact year. Let me look it up, 2014. And I didn't listen to it. And I didn't listen to it. I heard it, didn't love it, so I didn't buy it. The Art of McCartney, which is basically a tribute to Paul McCartney, and there are, wow, 3 albums on here. It says album 1, album 2, and album 3, and there are all kinds of artists who do Paul McCartney songs. Now, when I say I hadn't heard it, yes, I did hear it. I was listening to a radio show, a Beatles radio show, and the host, I'm talking about Rob Leonard, and a shout out to Rob Leonard. Some of you may know Rob. Rob was playing all the different songs, and I didn't really like a lot of them, and I said, I'm in no rush to get this. But you know, geez, if I'm gonna buy a Beatles knockoff album by the Schoolboys, I suppose I could buy this, right? It took me a long time to get it, but the price was so cheap, I said sure. It still was sealed. You have people like Billy Joel doing Maybe I'm Amazed. You have an awful, god-awful version of Things We Said Today by Bob Dylan. And Bob, you know, I love you. And Bob Dylan, I like him, and I make excuses for his voice all the time. I like a lot of rough Bob Dylan songs. I even like something called Pay in Blood from the Tempest album, where his voice really sounds like Animal from Sesame Street. But Bob doing Things We Said Today doesn't cut it. You got Hart, you got Steve Miller, you got Harry Connick Jr., Brian Wilson. We could go on forever here. I don't even know. Barry Gibb, Roger Daltrey, Kiss, B.B. King, Dr. John, Smokey Robinson, on and on. Sammy Hagar. I could go on forever. And I really should have had this sooner, okay? But I got it now. I think you would say it was mea culpa. All right, I think that's the term, mea culpa, by not getting it. So anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.